afternoon again, everybody. Paul Cameron. And last night, this tournament began with the play-in game, the number 8 against the number 9. That's Maryland, winning by 21 points over North Carolina State. There was a back-and-forth game as well. The Terps, they got themselves a bounce-in ball off Mejan Bacali that really started the run late in the second half. They got the Terps the win. But Maryland has not gotten past a quarterfinal since 1984 in the ACC tournament, and that was the year after Drizel and the Terps went on to win the title. They've got Maryland, and North Carolina coming up, the top seed. Of course, Carolina, the winningest tournament team in ACC history. They have 12 tournament titles, more than any other school. They have won the ACC tournament 8 times, seeded number 1. They're seeded number 1 coming in today, and they have played that, but of course they have not won since 1982 when they were seeded number 1. When they were number 1 coming in, they won it last in 1982. That was the same year that they went on to the national championship. Dean Smith, 48 wins, leads all the coaches active in the ACC. 48 wins in this tournament, 71%. He has won. Vic Bubas is second on that list with 22 lifetime wins in the ACC tournament. Charlotte Coliseum is the place, and we are getting set. We've got a little extra time between these first 2 games because we already showed you they went out on the floor and changed the nets to try to get them a little softer and a little less of that problem flipping back up over the irons. But we are going to continue and get set as Tim and Billy. And there's Dean Smith. Tim and Billy are watching him, talking to one of his assistants. Of course, the assistant coaches, Phil Ford, Randy Weil, were watching this first game with a lot of interest. If Carolina should win the second game, they will be meeting the Virginia Cavaliers in tomorrow's first semifinal. Eric Montross, first team All-ACC performer, and the Tar Heels will be coming right back to set the stage for this, the second game in Charlotte.
For 40 consecutive years, the ACC has built a tradition of excellence. Great coaches, close games, and fantastic players. Once again, the ACC comes together for the most famous college basketball tournament in the country. 3 days of unforgettable games, players, and memories. The tradition continues. Your ticket for this afternoon's quarterfinal matchup showcases the Terrapins and the Tar Heels. North Carolina is led by 2 all-conference players, 7-foot Eric Montross and 6'8" swingman George Lynch. The Terps have a pair of valuable seniors in Kevin McClinton and Evers Burns. They hope this game will not be their last.
Raycom and Jefferson Pilot Sports present the best in college basketball, the Atlantic Coast Conference. Today's game is brought to you by U.S. Air, Bud Dry, Nations Bank, Food Lion, Lowe's, Buick, Pepsi, and by the Jefferson Pilot Life Insurance Company.
Back in the Charlotte Coliseum, and if you missed our first game, Wake Forest goes dry over the last 3:39. Virginia the winner, and Virginia will meet the winner of this next one. That's what we're going to decide. Maryland and North Carolina, number 1 against number 8. The Terps had to play last night to knock off North Carolina State just to get this far. All right, let's bounce pass over the guys. We'll be calling the second game, Tim Brant and Billy Packer. But before we go over to them, let's first of all show you the brackets for the tournament right now, and that is Virginia advances, and you see Maryland, North Carolina in the second sec there. Clemson and Florida State will begin at 7 o'clock tonight in the night session. Georgia Tech and Duke will cap things off. And we will be right back with Tim and Billy. They'll set the starting lineups after this from our good friends at Bud Dry.
Reincarnation, the belief you can come back as just about anything. Why do some guys.
You're so cute.
Have all the luck. Try a beer that drinks like a light with real draft taste. Bud Dry. Because while luck may run out,
Happy birthday, Grandma.
For me?
true refreshment won't.
In Greensboro, North Carolina, a remodeled kitchen turned into the McLaren's new family room. In Norfolk, Virginia, a new minivan made the halls a little more popular with their friends. And in Washington, D.C., an additional room allowed Mark Gonzalez to put his father in the best possible home, his own. Nations Bank loan specialists have helped over 2 million people with loans for home improvements, loan refinancing, and car loans. Come see how Nations Bank can give you the power to make a difference in your life.
Why is the Sabre the best-selling full-size sedan in America? It's simple. Because it's built like a Buick. And Buick has become an enormous symbol for quality in America.
At Food Line, we're crusading against high prices. When the high-priced dragon rears his head, Food Line attacks with extra low prices on Nabisco animal crackers. Food Line throws everything into the battle against high prices with extra low prices on Philips light bulbs. Food Line pledges to fight valiantly for you to conquer high prices.
Back in Charlotte for the ACC Tournament of 1993. Let's go across court. Guys will be taking care of the Maryland-Carolina game this afternoon. Tim Brant and Billy Packer.
All right, Paul, thank you very much. We are here. We're with you this afternoon, the second game of the quarterfinals. Maryland and North Carolina. Now, when I see this matchup, the one that sticks out right away is Eric Montross. And the first matchup between these two, Billy, he had a double-double in the first half.
Well, it is a very difficult matchup for anybody in the United States, Tim. I think that everybody has accepted the fact right now that Eric Montross has moved himself in a very special place in college basketball. He's the dominant low-post player in the country. There are not many people can match up with him, and certainly in the case of Maryland, they just give up too much size inside for him.
Let's talk about the Terrapins. Last night moved on with a win over NC State coming into this game. Very young, but they're going to have to rely on their seniors, guys like Kevin McClinton.
Well, McClinton, of course, is one of the most underrated players in the conference. You can see that he and Johnny Rhodes have matched up here for another situation, assist and score. They have, as a backcourt, finished in the second position in almost every category in the conference. We're talking about assists, steals, rebounds, and scoring as a backcourt. They've got to come on big today.
Maryland and North Carolina coming up from the Charlotte Coliseum, the 40th annual ACC Tournament.
You almost can't hear all the hammering down the street because Mr. Osborne and Sons are acting like, well, father and sons. In fact, all they've agreed on was going to Lowe's for all the lumber, building supplies, and advice they needed, and Lowe's guaranteed low prices. But someday they'll reminisce about how much fun it was and how each did all the work by himself. Lowe's, helping add value to the homes on Raymond Street
I'm proud of you.
and your street.
To keep your competitive edge, you can phone it there, fax it there, even beam it there. But there's nothing like being there. With U.S. Air and the American Express card, you get a winning combination. The airline that begins with you and the card dedicated to providing unparalleled customer service. U.S. Air and the American Express card. Keep your competitive edge.
Your Toyota dealers are proud to announce a beauty of a deal on a beauty of a car. A one-of-a-kind introductory offer on the all-new Toyota Corolla with its Camry-like styling. The deal is an easy drive lease of just $179 a month. No strip down here. You get air conditioning, power steering, AM/FM stereo cassette, even driver's side airbag. It's a limited time offer, so for the best selection, don't wait. Why settle for less than a Corolla? Your Toyota dealer can give you a beauty of a deal for less than you thought.
When some folks think of San Francisco, the Golden Gate Bridge comes to mind. But for me, it's that great taste of sourdough bread.
Now Hardee's introduces Frisco grilled chicken on sourdough bread.
Tender whole grilled chicken breast, crisp bacon, plump juicy tomatoes, and Swiss cheese, all on grilled sourdough bread. The new Hardee's Frisco grilled chicken sandwich. And in the morning, enjoy a delicious Hardee's Frisco breakfast sandwich.
That's a taste worth coming back for.
Are you ready for some real food? Hardee's.
Well, it's the number 8 seed against the number 1 seed as we have the second game of the afternoon here at Charlotte. Maryland advanced by beating NC State last night. Now has to take on the number 1 team in the country. Low starting lineup first for the Terps. Exree Hip. There's Burns and McClinton are the 2 seniors. Kerwin and Rhodes also get the start. Kerwin sprained his ankle last night but appears to be okay. Gary Williams, his ACC tournament record 1-2. Terps overall 12-15 on the year. For North Carolina, unusual starting lineup in that you don't see Eric Montross there. We're not really quite sure why. It'll be Sullivan, Lynch, Salvadori, Williams, and Phelps. And, of course, the dean of them all, Dean Smith. He's had a phenomenal success, 23 straight 20-win season. As a matter of fact, you have to go all the way back to 1964 to find the Tar Heels lower than 3rd anywhere in the conference.
It has been an incredible run, and normally when you see a situation, guys not starting that you anticipate, there was some disciplinary action involved in it, Tim.
You wonder if they were late or something like that. Nonetheless, I'm sure we'll see them this afternoon. And now we were told that he just wants the seniors to go, but that's not an all-senior lineup.
Exactly.
So that throws a wrench into it.
I'm not buying that story.
I'm not either, especially when they're not all seniors. We'll have the opening tip for you right after this.
With each new day, you find a way to be your best.
Gillette Sensor for the closest, safest shave ever.
You know you gotta be a little better than the rest.
Only Sensor has spring-mounted twin blades that adjust to every detail of every face. Gillette Sensor. And now there's Gillette Aftershave Skin Conditioner. It moisturizes so your face feels comfortable all day.
Gillette, the best of men you get.
Hey, man, what do you want to do?
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe finish high school. And college. Wife. House. Kids.
Pull on Wednesdays. Work off the old gut. Make middle management.
I hang it up and head on down to Miami.
Buy some white shoes and
Pants that come up to my chest and complain about the government full time.
No, man. I mean, what do you want to do this afternoon?
Oh. The beach. I love it!
As the family grows, will your life insurance keep everyone sitting pretty? Make it happen with the strength and stability of Jefferson Pilot Insurance and Financial Services.
What makes us all the same is that we're all different. And for us individuals, AT&T introduces the I plan, long distance that fits the way you live, because it's based on your life. I is for calling plans without complications, people who speak your language, and doing things that used to be impossible from almost anywhere on Earth. Imagine having your own I plan. I is for individual, only from AT&T.
Maryland, the number 8 seed, has already had one victory today. As a matter of fact, the press conference Billy held in Baltimore today, a parade All-American named Keith Booth has committed to the Maryland Terrapins. So Gary Williams' youth movement and recruiting continues.
That's, of course, the key to any program year after year. If you look over the course of time, you get the quality players. And talking about a quality player, there is Eric Montross sitting on a bench with Rodel right next to him. Normally 2 starters for North Carolina. Let's see how long they stay out. In the case of Montross, he has his warm-up jersey off. So we'll expect him to be in there along with Reese and Rodel shortly.
Maryland has the first possession. You saw the scores of the 2 matchups, 5-second call against John Rhodes. But you saw the scores of the 2 matchups this year. The first one was a blowout from the get-go. The second one, Maryland played quite well, and Carolina just warmed down over the long haul.
Actually, Maryland led most of the first half until North Carolina made one of those typical blitzes on them.
If you're just joining us, Virginia has advanced, beating Wake Forest in the first game. Here we're just underway. Billy Packer and Tim Brant with you.
chased them all over the floor. Going to give up the outside jump shot.
This is Lynch inside the Salvadori, and it's blocked by Kerwin. He steps on the baseline and turns it over. Kerwin sprained his ankle last night. Came back in briefly to play. A little gimpy right now.
Yeah, Tim, the way that he sprained that ankle coming down on someone else's foot, it looked like he was out for a while. So pretty courageous to come back this quickly. And he heard it right there on the first play of the game, and he is having some problems inside now.
Lynch with the jumper, too strong. There's Kerwin to McClinton. Numbers aren't there. Nice pass to Hips. He misses the jumper. Burns can't follow. Lynch gets it out to Phelps.
Everybody back for Maryland, so no opportunity for the immediate break. But Carolina, secondary break, one of their main offensive weapons.
George Lynch with the jumper, and Carolina's on the board. Derek Phelps wearing an elbow pad on his right arm. Haven't seen that before.
Well, he bruised that elbow. They thought it would cost him a game or two, but it didn't. He got back in there and, of course, has played brilliantly down the stretch.
Sullivan makes it 4-0 Tar Heels.
North Carolina has been nicked by injuries throughout the course of the year. Nothing quite as serious as, let's say, what happened to Grant Hill, knocking him out the lineup. But Reese has been injured. Phelps as well.
Inside to Evers Burns. He touches it last. It'll be Carolina ball. That's 3 turnovers already for Maryland.
Rhodes telegraphed that pass onto the inside. Lynch just too smart a player to allow it to get inside like that.
Gary Williams off the bench yelling at Johnny Rhodes to calm down.
Yep, Salvadori pushing off on Kerwin. Dean Smith looks down that bench, and here come 2 of the starters immediately in.
That's the first on Salvadori. Here comes Brian Reese, number 31, and Eric Montross.
What would you say, late for, you know, I hate to do this. I hate to speculate, but late for a pregame meal, there was something those guys did not do that's in the Dean Smith system. It makes no difference whether you're all conference, all pro, or the last guy in the bench. That's the deal.
Kevin McClinton puts Maryland on the board. It's 4-2, Tar Heels.
Now poor Kerwin's going to have to go against Man Mountain Dean in there with that bad ankle. He might as well lean against the backboard stanchion.
Inside the Lynch, and he banks it in nicely. Carolina by 4. This will be Phelps picking up the personal, bumping on McClinton.
And that shows just how tough McClinton is to handle out there with the ball, because Phelps is probably as good at stopping penetration with the dribble as anybody in the country. McClinton just buried that shoulder and carrying, what would you say, Tim? What is he, 215? 220?
Pretty good size.
Yep.
Not quite like his dad was, but there's Burns with a nice power move to the hoop.
Good cross-court passing. If you're going to throw it cross-court, under the basket, the bounce pass is the thing.
Reese had a notion, kicks it out to Phelps.
The reason he didn't take the shot, not that it wasn't good for him, but there was nobody under to rebound if he missed.
Burns with the rebound. McClinton.
Maryland running pretty well up and down the court, looking to try to get some easy jumpers before Carolina sets in their defense.
Cross-court pass to Hip. This will be for 3 if it goes, and it does. And Maryland has its first lead of the game.
Boy, look at it, giving Lynch any kind of shot he wants from 12 feet. There goes.
Montross all by himself. I say all by himself because Kerwin got trapped on the other side of the hoop.
I talked to Sharon Wright yesterday. Here's a good steal on the intercept.
Inside to go to the big guy. Working on Kerwin on the baseline, and Hip takes the pass away.
Nice steal. Mentioned about Sharon Wright, and I asked him about Montross. He said he's just so strong. He's improved so much. Wright, an outstanding low post player himself for Clemson.
Evers Burns makes it 9-8 Maryland.
Well, they are scoring against this vaulted Carolina defense, which is maybe surprising to some after what Carolina was able to do to Duke last weekend.
Reese with the jumper for 2. What a contrast in styles, though, Billy. Carolina coaches just very quiet on the bench. Billy Hahn and Gary Williams, the Maryland staff, just screaming on the other side.
Yeah, but when you win 25 a year for 30 years, you know, you can be a little calm.
Reese is fouled by McClinton. That's his first team foul. Down the other end, Kerwin went up for a rebound. And just grimaced in pain. He can't push off that ankle.
Well, he's heavily taped. You can see right there. Here's Reese going in. McClinton does a nice job staying with him with that upper body strength. But Reese is an explosive player going to the basket.
Williams and Lynch go out. Rodel and Salvadori come in for Carolina.
The bench just becoming a factor for North Carolina. Of course, last night, both Lucas and Simpkins did a good job coming off the bench for Maryland, part of the reason that they're here. So we'll see those 4 freshmen on the floor at the same time before this game's over.
Brian Reese at the line. He's had a lot of injuries this year. That slowed him down a little bit. Had an ankle problem, back problem.
Shooting only 61 from the line, but 54% from the field. Lane violation by Maryland. Don't want to give that up. That's just like a turnover.
These are the things that drive that man, Gary Williams, nuts. It's youth, inexperience.
On his part of the play.
15:49 to go in the first half. The Tar Heels lead Maryland 12-9. And we'll be back after a word from our good friends at Bud Dry.
Final question, ladies. How would you save the planet?
Tax credits for education. Aggressive environmental legislation. Which planet?
Why do pageants still great on a curve? Try a beer that drinks like a light with real draft taste. Bud Dry. With a beer this different,
What a surprise.
it's no contest.
Want to break a European's heart? Let him test drive a Buick Park Avenue Ultra for 2 weeks. Then take it away. You see, the Ultra, with its supercharged engine, luxury appointments, and Buick quality, is built in such limited quantities, it's just not available in Europe yet. Want to break a European's heart? Let him drive an Ultra. Then take it away.
Every day, BP releases a superior choice in gasoline. BP Super, a gasoline with our highest octane. And like all our gasolines, BP Super has the highest level of engine cleaning power and an unconditional fuel system guarantee. BP's best choice in quality gasoline, BP Super. We've released it to our stations. Now release it in your car. BP, on the move.
Maryland and Carolina. George Lynch off to a quick start for the Tar Heels. He's 3 for 4 from the field, 2 rebounds. Carolina shooting 56%. Maryland shooting 57%, 4 of 7. And off to a pretty good start themselves.
Well, you know, one of the things that I would attribute that to, Tim, is the fact that North Carolina started a very unusual starting lineup. They did not come out with any intensity, and that might have been caused by whatever it was that changed that starting lineup, but certainly a different level of intensity than we saw them come out last weekend against Duke. And here they are with that trap of theirs that really changes things with guys like Rodel at 6'8", or Reese at 6'6", so Lynch, if he's on the wing, come running at you.
Back to McClinton, who's down with the big guys. Can't get it to go in. Last touch by Maryland.
And again, a little different lineup. Salvadori, 2 7-footers in there now with Montross and Salvadori.
And McClinton took it right in with him.
Nice pullback.
Reese is left alone. Has a notion, now takes it into the paint.
You know what happened? He was surprised. He was so wide open. Just airballed it.
McClinton walks. That's 5 turnovers already for Maryland.
And a lot of them have been self-inflicted. You know, it's one thing if you turn it over because the defense is so intense. In this particular case, Maryland just made some bad decisions.
Minutes to go in the first half. 12-9 Tar Heels.
No flow in this game yet for North Carolina. They are really packing it in Maryland. Everybody inside the foul line.
This is Lynch at the foul line. Inside he goes to Montross. Fight for the rebound, and we'll go down the other end.
And there's a case also where Montross is just so strong. That time, everybody was pushing him. No foul call, particularly Kerwin, who was pushing him in the back. Montross didn't even move.
pulls up, can't get the roll. Fight for the rebound. You know where that's going. And Montross gets away with an elbow that has Gary Williams off the bench. Here's Phelps, and the follow by Lynch.
Great effort by Lynch. Actually mistimed the leap and just stayed with it. One of the real great effort players in the history of the conference. I won't say he's one of the great players that's played in this league, but he certainly, from a standpoint of effort, ranks right up there with any of them.
Johnny Rhodes couldn't handle the pass. Here comes Phelps down the other end. Head to X-Reed hit. And he misses the layup.
Smart play by Montross, turning that thing back around, realized no sense putting it on the floor.
5-point Tar Heel lead.
There are foul shot range jump shots available here for North Carolina. Kerwin's going to get himself hurt down here.
He is called for the foul, Billy. Eric Montross will go to the line.
Now watch this. He's just going to grab him from the top. Tim, I don't want to laugh, but, you know, when you're 6'9" and weigh about 200, and the other guy's 7 feet and weighs 300, he doesn't really feel you.
And Kerwin's put on 35 pounds over the last year and a half.
Well, he's claiming that.
Nothing but net on the first one. The announcers for this game are selected and compensated by Raycom and Jefferson Pilot Sports. Any use of this broadcast without their express permission is prohibited.
Montross in that 101-73 game had 17 points, 13 rebounds, and as you said, Timmy was working on a double-double in the first half.
Into the ball game now comes Dwayne Simpkins from Maryland. He had a nice ball game last night, 14 points. Maryland turns it over again. Evers Burns gets it back ahead to McClinton.
One of the things Simpkins is going to have to realize against the Carolina Traps, because of their size, he has to go down underneath the trap, not try to throw over it.
To the baseline, goes left-handed. Burns with the follow, and he's fouled by Calabria. So Calabria gets charged with his first personal.
Simpkins that last night at 14 points, which is his career high in Maryland. And that's what he's got to show. He's got to show he's capable of scoring some.
Evers Burns goes to the line. He's had a terrific year. The cousin of Lenny Elmore. Actually was a tight end in high school and recruited as a football player, but came in and tribute to Gary Williams made him into a fine player. Burns works very, very hard.
32 straight double-figure scoring games.
Sullivan comes back into the game. Reese goes out. That free throw by Burns ends an 8-0 run by the Tar Heels. Comes up short on the second. Fight for the ball. Johnny Rhodes. To Simpkins. Back to Rhodes. Off balance. As good as it goes.
Two freshmen coming up with great hustle and an excellent determination. The future for Maryland is, in the backcourt particularly, will be in the hands of those two young men. You see the play right here. Simpkins realizes he's going to get the shot blocked. Goes back to Rhodes, who is leading in every category for freshmen in the league. Scoring, rebounding, assists.
Another fresh deal. Mario Lucas is in the game now. That for Montross was his first personal, 4th team foul.
So that's 3 out of the 5 starters on the floor right now for Maryland are freshmen, going up against the #1 team in the country.
This is Simpkins. To Rhodes. To Burns.
Smart play by Burns. Had Calabria on his hip and kept him there.
16-14 Carolina.
North Carolina really out of sync here. And you almost get the feeling that Dean Smith doesn't mind, Tim. You know, he's figuring you're going for a championship here. You're going to have to play 3 games. You can afford in this particular game, and at least in the history of the tournament, to play number 8, a sloppy game. Eventually win, but play a sloppy game.
12-15 to go in the first half. Maryland hanging around. 16-14 is our score. Evers Burns throws up a brick. And Sullivan loses it out of bounds. You're right, Carolina's out of sync.
Well, the other thing you have to take in consideration, this being the first 3 games and then 6 to win a national championship in the tournament, that's 9 games. In those 9 games, this will be an relatively, from a standpoint of balance of teams, an easy game, and your first round of the tournament would be.
Nice pass. Rhodes ties the score at 16.
But the other 7 games, Tim, would be against teams in the top 25 or thereabouts. So it's not like you can be up full blast in every game.
This is Donald Williams into the paint.
Good bounce pass.
To Lynch, yes. He has 8 points. George Lynch does.
When for Gary Williams, you look up and say, hey, my team's playing as well as they can play, and we're down 2. Certainly nothing to be ashamed of.
Clinton to Burns, has it taken away by Phelps. You talk about quick hands, he's got him. To Sullivan, yes.
Oh, he's got the wall.
And he's fouled.
That was a tough pass to catch on the move. You'll see it right here. Phelps with the steal. Now look at this one. On the move, gets it off the hip, protects it with the left hand going on in.
Foul on Simpkins. His first 13 foul. So Sullivan goes to the line. That's Sullivan, 6'8" junior from New Jersey.
Sullivan started in the game at Maryland. Ended up with 10 points.
There. What's better for you? For one very good reason.
Everything we do. You do it. You go to gate 10.
Thanks very much.
Your Toyota dealers are proud to announce a beauty of a deal on a beauty of a car. A one-of-a-kind introductory offer on the all-new Toyota Corolla with its Camry-like styling. The deal is an easy drive lease of just $179 a month. No strip down here. You get air conditioning, power steering, AM/FM stereo cassette, even driver's side airbag. It's a limited time offer, so for the best selection, don't wait. Why settle for less than a Corolla? Your Toyota dealer can give you a beauty of a deal for less than you thought.
When some folks think of San Francisco, the Golden Gate Bridge comes to mind. But for me, it's that great taste of sourdough bread.
Now Hardee's introduces Frisco grilled chicken on sourdough bread. Tender whole grilled chicken breast, crisp bacon, plump juicy tomatoes, and Swiss cheese, all on grilled sourdough bread. The new Hardee's Frisco grilled chicken sandwich. And in the morning, enjoy a delicious Hardee's Frisco breakfast sandwich.
That's a taste worth coming back for.
Are you ready for some real food?
Hardee's. ACC basketball is brought to you in part by your local Toyota dealers. Johnny Rhodes starting to get in the flow. He's the freshman of note for Maryland.
Well, here you see him taking inside. What makes him such a great scorer, Tim, is he can step outside and hit the 3. He also doesn't mind going to the basket, and he's got that short-range jumper.
Talk about the future. Hip, Rhodes, Lucas, and Simpkins all freshmen. Johnny Rhodes with 4 points here already this afternoon. And it's 21-16 Carolina. Burns and Rhodes get a little breather.
Carolina comes out, shows him a little 2-1-2 zone. And again, not as a put down to Maryland, but I think North Carolina's just practicing a lot of things out here in this first game.
Mario Lucas to McClinton, back to Simpkins.
Matching up in the 2-3. George Lynch calling the signals from the back line.
Inside to Lucas, turnaround partially blocked. Sullivan with a rebound.
Nice block out by Sullivan. Had Lucas on his back.
Inside, Phelps, Salvadori with the follow, and he's fouled.
You know, one of the things in regard to Phelps, he has not shown throughout the course of this year that he can make a shot consistently in the three-point range, but he is so good at penetrating and taking the ball to the defense, so you almost have to play him honestly, even when he has the ball on the outside. Otherwise, he'll bring the ball right to you and score.
Second personal on Simpkins. Sullivan goes out, and Reese comes back in for the Tar Heels as Salvadori drains his free throw.
It's a real dilemma when you play North Carolina and you say, hey, we're going to let them have the outside shot. Of course, the game against Florida State in their great comeback, they made them. Roto particularly was effective there in the second half. But when you don't put pressure on the ball outside, then they feed so well inside.
It was 16-16, and now Carolina's going on a 6-0 run. McClinton throws it away. Last touch by Lynch.
And how about that smart play by George Lynch? He took the ball with him right out of bounds, realizing to throw it back in under Maryland's basket could create an easy basket for him.
Evers Burns comes back in, replacing Mario Lucas.
Now let's watch this defense a little bit. Keep your eye on Lynch. He's the guy that's really dictating what's happening on that back line.
Inside to Burns. They double on him. He spins. Tough shot. Lynch with a rebound.
I'll tell you, if you're scouting the Tar Heels, this is a defense that they're playing very effectively right now. Here's that giving up that shot at the foul line.
Under 10 minutes to go in the first half.
Oh, nice fake.
Hip. That bucket will count. Goaltending on Salvadori.
You know, Hip, Tim, of all the guys that he has an outstanding future ahead of him, but he is really going to be helped by just getting a little older and letting his body mature some. And there you can see Salvadori with the goaltend because he's got quickness. He can explode to the basket. He puts the ball on the floor well. He'll be a good one.
Tar Heel lead is 5.
And Derek Phelps saying, what's this defense I'm looking at right here? They're matching up.
Nice dish to Reese. Offensive foul called against whom? Phelps?
Yes, it's going to be Phelps on the drive. Hip got in the way.
Phelps 0 for 4 and has 2 personals.
Now, what you can see happening right here is Donald Williams into the game. I'd expect Williams against this particular defense to start getting himself to zero in on some jump shots. Maryland doing a real good job keeping the tempo of this game going their way.
Dangerous pass taken away by Reese.
Whoa!
X-ray hip goes 3 rows up.
Well, I tell you, he kept his feet together there. He was beyond the press table. That was not a good pass, however. Now watch him go here. Let's go 1 table. Let's try 2. He jumps up there and saves himself.
He did that last night, Billy. Saved the layup by swatting it away, too.
Now they're playing it, really coming out there and picking up Williams.
Tough shot by Reese. Rebound Burns. Out ahead he goes to Hip.
Freshman on the break.
And Rhodes is fouled.
That's 3.
Phelps.
That's 3 on Phelps.
He's smiling, but I know that cannot be a good feeling to pick up your 3rd this early in the game. Under 9 minutes to play in the first half. It's 23-18 North Carolina.
Right here, Dean Smith hollering point. Talking about his zone defense he wants to employ right now, point zone. 1-3-1.
Cross-court pass to Rhodes. To Simpkins up top. Burns.
Get moving.
Strong power move.
And, of course, what you'll find, Tim, as this game moves on here now is the fans from the other schools will start rooting for Maryland. They always go after the #1 seed.
23-20 is our score. North Carolina leads. Williams for 3.
Good screen by Rodel. Rhodes just got to keep himself aware of where Williams is against North Carolina because he is the one guy who can really burn you from the outside.
They double Simpkins. Cross-court pass to Rhodes. He misses a shot. He was wide open. Williams gets his own long rebound.
Doesn't realize Rodel's behind him.
Rodel wide open for 3. And Montross with a follow.
Good putback by Montross. Came down, didn't have to regather himself because his hands were so strong. Was able to go back up before the defense could react.
He has 6 points now. It's 28-20. Tar Heels. 7:30 to go in the first half.
Playing a lot of zone in this half in North Carolina. Nice touch.
Touch to Hip. Beautiful reverse layup. 28-22.
Great job by Kerwin. Instead of catching it and gathering, he made the nice touch, just as Montross did on the other end to score. Check this defense out. It looks like they're playing a little triangle of two here.
The bucket is good by Lynch, and Kerwin picks up the personal.
Gary Williams doesn't want to see Williams get off track, so he's playing him tight man-to-man. It looks like the big guys inside are trying to hold their ground, a little triangle of two.
Galabria and Sullivan come back into the ball game. Maurice and Williams go out for Carolina. Gary Williams working, trying to teach his freshman. Lucas will check back in.
Of course, Maryland won in 1958. They won their first ACC championship, beating the University of North Carolina. The North Carolina team that had most of their starters came from that team that won the national championship in '57. Here's George Lynch, and that's a
pretty impressive
record. Right.
Largest lead of the game, 31-22, with 6:58 to go in the first half. We'll be back after a word from our good friends at Budweiser.
There was one thing about Bud that we kept hearing over and over.
Now that's fresh beer. Huh? Okay, let's say this is the original Budweiser brewery in St. Louis. There's another one in Texas.
And 2 more in Florida.
New York, California, New Jersey.
Over a dozen of them.
So Budweiser doesn't have to truck their beer clean across the country.
So you know it's fresh.
Right.
Is that my beer in New Jersey?
When it's finally time to retire, where will you play around? Make it happen with the strength and stability of Jefferson Pilot Insurance and Financial Services.
In Asheville, North Carolina, a new pickup helped the Dixons turn weekend projects into profits. In Columbia, South Carolina, we helped the Mitchells put down roots in their neighborhood. And in Richmond, Virginia, a hatchback allowed Deborah Carver's son to start college with more than just new towels. Nations Bank loan specialists have helped over 2 million people with car loans, loan refinancing, and loans for home improvements. Come see how Nations Bank can give you the power to make a difference in your life.
We talked about good touch passing, good touch tipping. Here was a case where Kerwin had the ball coming out, recognized that he had Hip wide open inside. Instead of coming down and gathering himself, just touch passed right on the inside. Hip took the ball aggressively to the inside and scored.
On the floor now for Maryland, Mario Lucas, Dwayne Simpkins, and X-Ray Hip, all freshmen, and the 2 seniors, McClinton and Evers Burns. 31-22 is our score. North Carolina with 5:52 to go in the first half.
There's that 2-3 zone matching up back there. And Lynch has got that ability to run that zone any way that he wants to.
Shot clock at 20.
I think Maryland's going to have to send a cutter or 2 through there to find out just exactly what Lynch's responsibility
is. Lucas had the shot. The ball got away from him, but he's fouled.
Tim, when you play against somebody that's showing this type of a defense, you have to be patient enough to figure out as a backcourt player, what is the defense? You know, what are they trying to do to us, and how do we try to score against them? Because until you settle that, you really don't know how to attack.
Well, that was Sullivan's first personal, but it was the 7th team foul, so Lucas at the line shooting 1-1.
Lucas, in the last regular season game, 10 big rebounds against Virginia. And we know, having watched that first game today, how tough they are on the board. The young man has potential in that area.
Simpkins almost has the steal, does, against Rodel. And left layup, left-handed, 31-25.
Damn, little guy's got a lot of moxie, doesn't he?
He's quick.
Well, you know, just as I said, that he's got to learn how to play under people. Rodel has no business trying to dribble with Simpkins down there around his ankles where the ball is. He wants to play over the top of him.
Simpkins played it to Maffitt, coached by Morgan Woot. Here's Lynch, has his shot knocked out of bounds, and Lucas is called for the foul.
Number 21, Mario Lucas, his first 16 fouls.
Two-shot guy.
So George Lynch will go to the free throw line. You saw the statistics on what he's done in his career. Quite a player.
It is kind of interesting that only one player matched up in the history of the Atlantic Coast Conference with those stats, and that was Christian Laettner.
Right.
You never even think about those two guys in the same breath.
Talk about another tough player.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about the National Player of the Year was Laettner, and Lynch. Some people, you even hear him talking about saying, well, he didn't belong on all ACC first team. But again, I don't agree with that statement at all. But those stats can't be taken away from that young man.
Lynch pushes Carolina's lead back to 7 with 5:40 to go in the first half. Good catch by Hip. Back out front to Simpkins.
And there it is again. Keep your eye on Lynch and watch where he moves in that zone, because he's the key to the back line.
Hip shoots from way outside, in and out. Fight for the rebound. Not much of a fight. It's all Montross.
He was about 2 feet above the pack on that one.
Williams comes up short. Maryland's battling.
They're doing a solid job. They didn't get the full attention of North Carolina in terms of the way they came out focused at the start of this game. Maryland has played extremely well.
Simpkins penetrates, dishes to Burns, who's left wide open.
And how about that no call by the referee there saying, hey, had no effect on the play.
Lynch kicks a towel out of the way when he brings the ball in. Here comes Reese. And Burns picks up the foul for the block. The bucket's good.
And the referees don't look at Gary Williams on that play because they didn't want to put a technical foul on him. You see the play right here. No question there's a foul.
No, Gary was saying the bucket shouldn't have counted.
No, I don't agree. The shot, here you go, there's the foul. And there's the act of shooting. The shot does not have to be released. But in either case, I think it was a nice piece of officiating not to look at him. Because if you look at him, you got to call the T.
Roto goes out. Calabria comes back in. Three-point play by Reese is converted.
Now what Gary's got to understand is he dodged the bullet. Particularly now. Don't get the technical when your team has the ball.
Burns on the baseline to Johnny Rose.
Nice catch.
And the shot came up short. 3-on-1.
Beautiful layup. For Gary Williams, you got to think maybe time right here.
Reese has 9 points. And the Tar Heels have their largest lead at 10. 37-27.
A club like Maryland right now has got to be patient. A good first half. You just get away from them completely here with just 3 minutes to go.
Mario Lucas with a freshman-type foul.
Yep. I think Gary should call timeout and get his club back under control. He's still working the referee. That's not going to work.
.401 to go in the first half. The lead is 10. Montross at the line. Boy, he's been on a tear the last part of this season. 7 points, 6 rebounds in this game.
Well, he had 17 in both of the previous games. And as you pointed out, Tim, really only played about a half in the first one. In the lane too soon.
Lane violation on Reese. So the rule that one off, 38-27.
Without question, in the lane too soon. You can see Reese in there. Montross had not yet released the shot. There's a trap.
Last touch by Carolina. 3:49 to go in the first half. 38-27. Tar Heels will return after this word from Pepsi.
about how you'll spend your life. 24.5 years sleeping, 3.1 years eating, 2.4 years in the bathroom, 3.2...
Has been rather quiet for Maryland in the first half. Hip will take it. Burns will take it to the basket every time.
That's the 9th rebound for Lynch. Boy, he has been all over the boards. Nice idea by Rodel, and there's the difference. Feeding a low post player with strength and one without strength. Salvadori just not strong enough to keep a defender off his back, and consequently the ball gets knocked out of bounds.
Johnny Rhodes goes out. Dwayne Simpkins comes back in for the Terrapins of Maryland. Lynch left alone.
Well, left alone, Timmy, for a 12-foot jumper.
He's got 16.
Having a massive first half.
46-31. Tar Heels have exploded since that technical foul. Inside to Kerwin with a little jumper. Burns gets it back. Simpkins for three.
You know the difference in Simpkins in this tournament than what we've seen during the regular season. He's positively looking for some shots. Going to build up his confidence for the next season without question.
Salvadori and Kerwin jump ball. Possession arrow to the Tar Heels. Mario Lucas comes back out. Evers Burns goes out. Rodel will sit down for the Tar Heels.
Cherry in the ball.
Scott Cherry sees his first action.
As I said before, Dean Smith using this game, figuring that he is superior in talent, as a practice session.
45 seconds to go in the first half.
Off the bench for a
Cherry for three.
Well, I mean, nobody guarding you out there. You might as well take it. He'd been in the game, what, 8 seconds?
49-34, North Carolina. Maryland holding it for one shot with 20 seconds left in the half.
And Dean Smith saying, let's stay right back in here. I'm satisfied with this kind of lead, considering the way the game was played. From a man that's won 48 tournament games.
And Maryland turns it over.
You know, Timmy, looking up those stats, Smith is 48-20 in the ACC tournament in the history of his coaching. Vic Bubas had 22 victories, to put this in perspective. That's second all time. Hard to believe.
That is hard to believe.
48 to Smith, the #2 coach, Bubas, who was one of the legends in coaching, in 22.
23 straight 20-win season. Cherry is fouled. Foul on Kerwin.
Gary Williams is allowing this officiating to get to him too much in this game. He's an aggressive type coach, but he's spending too much time concentrating on refereeing, not enough time concentrating on a game.
That's 3 on Kerwin. So Evers Burns will check back in with 5 seconds to go in the half.
And what's going to happen to him? The referees basically are allowing him to run his mouth a lot. And pretty soon he's going to get himself a technical, and it's going to really hurt him. He might as well sit down and concentrate on the game.
Jerry coming off the bench and contributing.
He's really baiting. He won't let up. And I think at this point the officials ought to let him have one and sit him down.
Jerry makes them both, so he has 5 points coming off the bench. Carolina with its largest lead. Hip at the buzzer. So the half ends with North Carolina out in front with its largest lead, 51-34 over Maryland. We'll be back with our halftime activities right after this. Stay with us.
Action is brought to you by the Jefferson Pilot Life Insurance Company, Buick, Gillette, Food Lion, Pepsi, and by Hardee's.
If you're looking into faucets, Peerless means plenty. America's leading do-it-yourself faucet. In hundreds of styles and finishes. All made with solid brass valve construction. And all warranty for as long as you own your home. The best made, best back do-it-yourself faucets in America. That's what Peerless means. When she's ready for college.
7:53 at halftime. Georgetown trailing the Hall by a bucket. SEC, it's Bama falling to Vanderbilt 76-59, and in the Southwestern Conference, Houston beats Texas A&M 84-68. That game in Dallas. And our score once again is 51-34 North Carolina over Maryland. Atlantic Coast Conference on the Raycom and Jefferson Pilot of today's broadcast. Once again, we are at halftime of game number 2 on quarterfinal Friday afternoon. If you missed the early game, Wake Forest went dry over the last 3:39, and Virginia pulls the mild upset as the 5th seed, advances past the number 4 seed for tomorrow's semifinal, awaiting the winner this afternoon. North Carolina up big. McClendon has been not heard from much today, usually reliable, only 2 points at halftime, but Maryland's freshmen certainly have done a pretty good job against the Tar Heels at times. They've let things run out here towards the end of the first half. The guys like Mario Lucas, Exree Hips, Johnny Rhodes on one play in particular comes to mind. They all three got their hands on the ball on a pretty good play right here. The rebound you will see, Lucas pulls it down, and then the nice passing off the break. Watch this. Nice fake. Good pass, Exree. All right, it is halftime. Let's go back down, get ready for the second half here. Once again, Tim Brant and Billy Pack.
All right, Paul, thank you very much. Interesting first half in that, as you said, Billy, no rhythm to it. I think Gary was trying for a technical there at the end of the first half. If that makes any sense, at least he got caught up in the officiating, and I think actually started working the officials rather than coaching the team at the end there.
Well, I'd blame both sides of that equation, Tim. I think officials have a point to say, hey, maybe we did miss a call, so you let the coach go ahead and vent some anger. Don't pay any attention to him. But when it persists, then I think that the referees really need to slap a coach. And a coach has to say, hey, wait a second. How long can we stay with that particular play or series of plays, get back to the action? So I think they were both fault there.
All right, let's take a look at the U.S. Air halftime statistics, bring you up to date on that first half. Big first half for George Lynch. 8 rebounds, 16 points.
Of course, as you can see, neither team shooting particularly well. Free throws, North Carolina with a huge advantage. And, of course, that's part of the Gary Williams saga right there, is to say, wait a second. You know, we're banging best we can, but we've been to the line 5 times. They've been up there 18.
All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights. It was Carolina most of the way.
Here we see that inside play. There's Reese with the ball. He starts to put it on the floor, looking at somebody to pass to, and guess what? Nobody's there, so he takes it all the way and scores himself. He's a great finisher. And here's this defensive play by North Carolina. Then they go ahead and execute on the inside. Maryland tried to trap a little bit, and that's what Lynch filtered down beautifully. Got the pass from Roto for the score.
So we're at halftime, and it's 51-34 North Carolina. We'll be back with the second half right after this. Stay with us.
If you're printing to the LPT1, try printing to the LPT1.
C:\Windows. The device command in this example sets up the HIM. Oops. What did I do? I don't know. Page
What are you guys doing? You've been fooling with that thing for 3 days now.
Making it easy to use, so we'll be more productive.
If it is productive much longer, we'll go out of business.
If you want a computer that's easy to use, there's still only one way to go.
Ford makes it easy to buy a new Escort by offering these 4 LX models, all equipped with these great features for one low price. And now we're also offering an easy 2-year lease for just $199 a month. That's your choice of 4 well-equipped Escorts for just $199 a month. Ford Escort. Now it's easier than ever to buy or lease America's most popular small car.
cases of Diet Pepsi were sent free to loyal Diet Coke drinkers.
I wonder if some of them are singing a different tune now. It's got a hold on me, right in the soul of me. I'm a changed man. This is the right one, baby. Uh-huh.
It makes you wonder, what would happen if everyone tried Diet Pepsi?
No comment, baby. No doubt about it. Only one taste is the right one. Makes me feel like singing. You got the right one, baby!
Serious times demand serious men.
Hard work is the reward for hard work.
Tenacity, gumption, discipline.
Sometimes you've got to stop and smell the pizza.
Jefferson Pilot Sports' exclusive coverage of ACC basketball is brought to you by Ford, Pizza Hut, Chick Tracer, Central Fidelity Bank, AT&T, and by Nationwide Insurance.
51-34, North Carolina leads at halftime. Billy, let's take a look at the Ford keys to the game. How does Maryland get back into it?
Well, Tim, I don't think that's going to happen. I think what the key for Maryland is to use this game as a building block. This is a club that's got to be planning for its future. I think you want to come out of this game saying, okay, we're starting even here in the second half. Let's play them even, do the best we can. I thought Maryland did a great job for the first 10 minutes, 10, 12 minutes of this game, then kind of let it get away from them a little bit. But they are against superior forces today. For North Carolina, this may be hurting a Maryland fan that has to listen to this. You happen to be, an ex-Maryland guy yourself, Tim, but you build your program, and that's what Gary's doing, building this program. For North Carolina, it's a program that's already built, so all they're doing is fine-tuning with this game right here.
51-34 is the score. You see the leading scorers. George Lynch with a terrific first half. Brian Reese with 11, and Eric Montross coming off the bench did not start, had 7 points. For Maryland, Evers Burns with 11, and Hip had 9, Simpkins had 5. So Dwayne Simpkins showing something here in the tournament this year. Had a big night last night with 14 points, 5 in the first half against Carolina.
He did, and I think the key thing that he showed is, hey, he can score. He's a very positive, aggressive young player. I think we'll see more of him here in the second half, and I think it's really a key to Maryland's future that young man gets a chance to play, and when he does, I think he'll be productive.
Maryland starts McClinton and Burns, Kerwin, Rhodes, and Hip in the second half. Donald Williams will come back out. We see Eric Montross will get a start here in the second half. He did not in the first half. Reese and Lynch also come out, along with Derek Phelps and Donald Williams.
We talk about Lynch's performance today, but think last year in the tournament. All-tournament player, averaged 18.7 points, 8.7 rebounds. So, it seems like he likes the tournament and certainly performs well in it.
Maryland with its first possession, second half.
And I like the way he's directing the defense as well. And he's calling the switches on the inside.
Burns throws up a brick.
Nice rebound by a guard, Darren Phelps.
Williams for 3. Evers Burns with the rebound. Terrapins down 17. Here comes Johnny Rhodes.
Nice dribble. And then there is Lynch again.
Lynch walks with it. First turnover second half for Carolina.
Now, Lynch is playing like a man among boys in this particular game. I mean, he is everywhere in every aspect of the game. Scoring, rebounding, orchestrating, telling people what to do.
Officials square away the shot clock and get everything copacetic, and here we go. Maryland now turns it over on the inbounds pass. Strange game, Billy, you're right. Nice pass there to Phelps from Reese.
Well, let's not make it something that it's not. You're talking about number 1 against number 8-9, and they're just a better team. That's all there is to it. Better personnel, more experience.
Coming into this game, Maryland 2-9 over its last 11 games. Burns battles the boards and can't get it to go.
Well, Montross presented such a challenge to him inside. He had to create something, but good effort on his part.
This foul called on X3 Hip.
Now, again, what has to happen here, Tim, we're making these statements watching this game. If you're a Maryland player, you can't accept the reality. You've got to go out and try to concentrate on, hey, how can I do my job for the next given moment the best possible? And not just accept your fate.
Phelps loses it out of bounds, thought that he was forced out.
Well, I think Phelps thought that he put it off Rhodes' leg, and since Rhodes walked away from him quickly, I'm not so sure he's wrong.
George Lynch on the bench, grimacing in pain. Here's McClinton with a little pull-up jumper. Makes it 53-36.
And let's see where that pressure is being put on. It's right on his
knee.
On his knee, yeah.
Inside to Salvador, turnaround is short, gets his own rebound. Outside to Williams, this is for three.
So that's 3 jumpers he's missed here in the start of the second half. Not in a good flow shooting for him, and it could be a key in the NCAA tournament for the North Carolina team, because there will be those nights and he is going to have to make those shots.
Entry pass to Kerwin, kick it back out to hip. To McClinton. Burns will take it against Salvador and have it blocked. Offensive against Evers Burns.
Just so much traffic to go through down there and no way to get through it. There is George Lynch.
Good job.
You see the play on the inside there was the flip. Just extended that knee a little bit. You can see him feel like he twisted it.
I'm not sure if he didn't catch a foot right there, too, from Burns.
Got some ice on it. Let's see if he quickly gets back up and starts running on it. Talk about injuries to key people at this time of year. Grant Hill is back. Looked pretty good in practice yesterday for Duke. Alan Henderson in Indiana, another one of the top-ranked teams, missing a key player. Played all of 6 seconds the other night. There must be a story to that. Bob Knight would put him in for that short a period of time.
Billy, the word we get from the Carolina bench is it is a bruised knee. Von Trotz with a follow. Can't get it to go down. Here's Reese. Reese inadvertently knocked the ball away coming back down.
Well, I don't know if it was inadvertent. Yeah, I might have called a technical on it. We're going to get in an argument here. Yeah,
no, we won't.
I'd have called a technical for hanging on the rim, too.
I won't say an argument. It's a difference of opinion.
Okay.
Here's Johnny Rhodes left alone. This is for 3. Johnny Rhodes has struggled today with his shooting.
There's Williams. Keep putting it up.
I think we'll agree on this. Carolina is awfully strong.
Yeah, they're a good team. A real good team.
Timeout on the floor with 17-11 to go in the ball game. The Tar Heels 57, the Terrapins 36. We'll be back after a word from our good friends at Budweiser.
Way. Seasoned veteran and ready to go.
This is McClinton, the senior from Maryland.
Extending the defense way out now.
McClinton's jump shot is short. Phelps with another rebound.
That's his 4th rebound of the second half.
It's down in the paint. Now we'll try to get it back out. The Sullivan does.
Smart play. He had McClinton on his hip, kept him there.
And look who it is, George Lynch.
Now, one of the things you start wondering if you're Dean Smith, at what point do you start resting your guys? Just no place to go.
Evers Burns misses the lay-in. Gary Williams can only look at it disgustedly. Burns 0 for 5 here in this half. Montross loses it out of bounds.
Well, there was a case where Montross didn't handle the ball on the inside, but the entry pass was probably not a good idea. He was well covered by Maryland.
Dwayne Simpkins checks in. X-ray hip goes out. Kerwin goes out. And Mario Lucas checks back in for Maryland.
You know, Phelps is a little gimpy on his leg as well right now. Of course, North Carolina in a nice position today to be able to go ahead and rest some players and take care of those injuries.
Last touch by Maryland. Correction, last touch by Carolina.
Kerry Williams still working a referee.
Simpkins having a tough time getting it in. Montross knocks it out. 16:06 to go in the game.
Now, Tim, that's what I mentioned early in the first half. You notice Simpkins is going to have all kinds of problems ever trying to pass over defenders in this league. And he's going to have to get used to that adjustment, getting the ball underneath people. A la Muggsy Bogues that played in this league so effectively, basically from the same area of the country. One from played at DeMatha, and of course one at Dunbar and Baltimore.
Evers Burns 0 for 5 this half, finally converts on the jumper.
Well, what he needed to do is get a shot farther than 2 feet to the basket there. He felt more comfortable.
Burns charged with a foul at the other end on Sullivan.
And what happens right now in a game like this, if you're North Carolina, you want to get your regular guys out of there some, because the game will have a tendency to get very sloppy.
Reese comes in. Sullivan will go out. Rodel checks back in.
Let's go, guys. Here we go.
And Williams goes out. Evers Burns with 3 personals. Here's Reese.
Boy, he goes to hoop strong.
And he's fouled by Lucas. That's his 3rd. 59-38 is our score. It's been all Carolina, the top seed, the #1 team in the country.
You could almost hear a pin drop in this arena right now. I mean, they've accepted the reality of the game, and people are just kind of sitting back, relaxing, figuring there are going to be some real wars ahead before this weekend is over.
Well, the first game was terrific.
It was a great game.
Virginia beat Wake 61-57, touch and go all the way.
I talked to Jerry West briefly as he was coming down off that interview with Paul, and he said he really enjoyed that first game. He said, I don't know if I've seen 2 more evenly matched teams. Kind of what we were saying only. They play the rest of the week, they'd still be 2-4 points apart.
Johnny Rhodes to McClinton, and McClinton has it blocked by Reese. Takes it back off balance, and rolls it in.
Rhodes, of course, picked along with him on the all-conference, all-freshman team. Martise Moore, the other leading vote getter with Rhodes as far as making that first club.
This is Reese with the pump fake to the baseline. Lynch has it blocked, fouls it once,
3 times. Oh, 4 times. 4 blocks by Maryland on the inside.
And Maryland bounces it on the baseline. It'll be Carolina basketball.
Not to slight the other 2 guys. Here we'll see those plays. 1 block. 2 blocks. 3. And let's try Montrose for 4.
Here's Cherry into Montrose, who loses it this time.
And a steal.
Ahead to Simpkins. He's quick. He'll push it. And pushed it out of bounds.
Tried to make a play a little bit too difficult. And Gary Williams telling him that exactly. Don't make the tough play.
Phelps comes back in for Scott Cherry. He goes and takes a seat alongside Dean Smith. Phelps to Lynch. Inside to Reese.
Second time Reese has exploded in this half for an easy dunk. And a good look by Lynch, who has not been quite so dominating here in the second half as he was in the first, but still playing solid basketball.
22-point game. Simpkins with a shot.
They just couldn't get the passing angle for the...
Lynch has it taken away again by Lucas.
Probably the key to that was the bad angle for the pass. They just couldn't get off a good break opportunity.
Here's Rodel. Easy layup.
Maryland's wearing out right now, and Gary Williams recognizes it's going to call timeout for his team. They've just been worn down.
North Carolina has its largest lead of the afternoon, 24 points. 13:48 to go in the ball game, and we will return after this from Pepsi.
Good question. I think young people today finally realize that these are the serious 90s. Kids today have come to accept that this is a time for introspection, moderation. You can just witness the new emphasis on discipline everywhere you look. That's the way it is, isn't it? I'm not making this up. Listen, a lot of research went into this.
As times changed, so did the Ford full-size pickup. But it was always one tough truck, and boy, could it haul a load. Today, it's still tough, but it's designed to ride better. It has more style, more comfort, and boy, can it haul a load. Times change, trucks change, but Ford Tough never does.
In Asheville, North Carolina, a new pickup helped the Dixons turn weekend projects into profits. In Columbia, South Carolina, we helped the Mitchells put down roots in their neighborhood. And in Richmond, Virginia, a hatchback allowed Deborah Carver's son to start college with more than just new towels. Nations Bank loan specialists have helped over 2 million people with car loans, loan refinancing, and loans for home improvements. Come see how Nations Bank can give you the power to make a difference in your life.
North Carolina, with its largest lead of the afternoon, leads Maryland 64-40 with 13:48 to go in the ballgame. Lynch has been big for North Carolina, 8 of 13, 18 points, 12 rebounds, and he's shooting 62%.
That's his 13th double-double of the year, 30th in his career.
See the comparison with Evers Burns, but he's 6 for 16 to get his 13 points.
Well, that gets him up, though, to over 30, his 33rd double-digit scoring game.
Johnny Rhodes for 3.
Maryland comes out aggressively pressing. North Carolina, with that size, goes right over the top. You can see they had a little lecture and put a little spice back into them during that timeout.
Lynch inside for the easy bucket. I think you're right. I think Gary tells him, I want to get these guys experience, but I don't want to be embarrassed.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, you have a whole different reason, depending on what bench you're on, as to how you want to play the rest of this game.
X3 hip fires from outside, and there's 3 more.
Up. Oh, a tough break for Maryland. A great bounce pass. Lucas almost had that for a pickoff. Would have brought some life back to this crowd that's gone completely to sleep here.
Inside the tip by Salvadori. They double-team Simpkins, and now the foul. John Walsh will come into the game for Maryland.
A player that's put some spark into this team over the course of the games that I've seen him play this year.
He really does.
Yeah,
he's a scrapper.
Yeah, he tries to do things.
Foul is on Phelps. That's his 4th. So he'll go sit down, and it's the first team foul on the Tar Heels this half. Kerwin has it slapped back by Salvadori.
He's the leading shot blocker, even above Montross on this team. He's got a good piece of a hook shot, which is very tough to block.
Scott Cherry working against Simpkins. Johnny Rhodes ahead to Simpkins. Foul on Sullivan. That's his second, team second. Montross comes back in as Dean Smith continues to work the bench. Salvadori goes out.
Well, what he wants to do here is to give everybody, just as you would in a scrimmage game, an opportunity to play, get your legs moving, get a feel for the tournament, and yet not wear anybody out for the day. Nice rebound by Sullivan. Kerwin still trying, still hustling.
And Welsh fouls Lynch.
I said he makes things happen.
Yes, he does.
And, of course, if you're Dean Smith, a play like that will send a shockwave through your head saying, hey, I don't need to get somebody hurt here, particularly not a George Lynch.
Carolina bench calling for intentional foul.
Well, I don't think that was the play at all. No. We got 2 men, 2 shots.
20 points, 13 rebounds for George Lynch today. 6'8" senior from Roanoke, Virginia.
You know, he has moved ahead of today Brad Doherty and Mitch Kupchak. And on the all-time list in North Carolina as a rebounder. There are only two that stand ahead of him, Billy Cunningham and Sam Perkins.
Not a bad list.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Not a bad list.
Unbelievable. I mean, if you said, thinking of all the great players that have been in Carolina, who's the number 3 all-time rebounder, I guarantee you there are not many people to come up with the name George Lynch. Shows what an outstanding player he's been. And there he is with another one.
And Simpkins called for the foul again.
And I'll tell you another stat today that's going to be very historical for North Carolina, and that is, with this win, Dean Smith ties all-time Henry Iba as in the number 2 slot of winningest coaches in the history of the game. So after the next win, there'll only be one left, and that's famous Adolph Rupp, Kentucky.
Billy, when you think he's had 23 straight 20-win seasons, how impressive is that?
Great testimony to a program that was built solid and has stayed that way for many, many years.
Lynch too strong, Walsh with the rebound. Matter of fact, you have to go all the way back to 1964 to find the Tar Heels lower than the top 3 in the ACC standings. Tip is fouled.
I mentioned the name Billy Cunningham, which going back into history, probably, and I've always wanted to meet these guys. I think probably of any of the people I've not met in the history of ACC, these are the one or two guys probably responsible for this that I'd like to meet that I've never had a chance. You know who they are? The guys that hung Dean Smith in effigy after he lost that game to Wake Forest. Billy Cunningham in the starting lineup. You know, they should step forward, wouldn't you? You know, in a way, I mean, nobody faults you now because there's nothing you can say against them, but I'd like to know who they are. I mean, that's probably now thousands of people will claim it.
A letter incognito.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine that? Chapel Hill one night said, yeah, let's get rid of this guy. He's killing our program.
That's unfathomable.
Yeah.
10:49 to go in the game. North Carolina in control, has been really for a long time. 70-48 is their score. Tar Heels.
Oh, how about a foul by Montrose there? Not called, just cleaned out. House is not in. Another foul. That time it is called.
Reese with the offensive on him. That's 14 fouls.
You know, we saw that block by Salvadori before on that nice hook shot that Kerwin tried to put up. He had 6 blocks against Maryland in an earlier game this year. There's McClinton realizing he has known for some time what the fate was going to be in today's game. But he had 6 blocks against Maryland. North Carolina had 12 overall.
That ball hit Walsh right in the face and staggered him.
Well,
What's this?
It was tapped, and therefore it took the direction of the pass off. And it was too late for him to readjust his hand.
He's feeling his nose now to see if anything's broken.
Scott Cherry, who came in off the bench and hit that jump shot in the first half, really gave a spark to North Carolina.
Nice lob pass to Montrose. Oh, my.
And great defense by Burns. I mean, he did everything you could possibly ask him to do. The problem is the other guys got him by 4 or 5 inches and just went over his outstretched hand.
72-48. Evers Burns. And Carolina throws it away.
Well, there was a case that the lead pass was a good idea, but it was too direct. A little bit more loft on it would have gave Divin Williams an opportunity to run under it.
Don't forget, coming up tonight, ACC action continues here at the Charlotte Coliseum. 7th-seeded Clemson goes against Florida State, the number 2 seed in the tournament. That game will be followed by Georgia Tech and Duke. Grant Hill back for Duke. Missed about 6 games with that injured toe.
Looked pretty good running yesterday.
Yes, he did, but he put a scare, I think, in everybody when he twisted that ankle a little bit, but he's fine.
Well, you know what might happen, Tim, and this happens a lot of times. The guy has a problem with a knee or a toe or an ankle, and then he tries to compensate for that and hurts his other leg because he's coming down on it all the time.
That was called on Reese. His second hip will go to the line. Next rehip now has 15 points.
Solid game, the freshman today.
He was the Metro player of the game. High school, rated one one of the best above-the-rim players.
Well, I think he's going to have an excellent career at Maryland. As I said, just a little bit more maturity will give him that strength that he needs. He's got a solid game to build on. Maryland's still hustling out there. You know, don't involve these guys at all in regard to the effort they put in today against a superior team. There was one time when Gary called the timeout and I think brought his team back together. Oh, how about that one?
Outstanding shot by Simpkins. He has 7 points.
And how about McQuinn? He's a senior out there, still working hard.
Rodel gives up to Montross. Montross has the easy bucket. We're under 9 minutes to play now.
Simpkins pushing that ball down the court quickly.
How about Rodel with 7 assists, giving that ball up down the paint.
Well, Rodel had 6 assists against Maryland to lead the team in their win at Maryland.
That foul was on Montross. That's his second. Stay tuned for the Players of the Game Award, brought to you by Nations Bank.
Well, that's the last we'll see of Montross, Lynch, Reese, and Phelps today, and probably Williams as well. So Dean Smith goes all the way down the bench at 8:44 mark. And the way that Maryland is concentrating and working hard, I wouldn't be surprised to see them cut down on this lead some.
Johnny Rhodes with a 3-pointer.
They are working out there.
Brings the lead back to 20. Turnover, Carolina. Mario Lucas gets it back.
They're going to make a little push here, Tim. Force Dean Smith to have to go back to those starters.
Evers Burns inside, fight for the rebound. Carolina has it here on blue.
That could have been a big one.
Nice follow by Salvadori.
Well, you know, it's kind of funny here. When Montross goes out, Wenstrom comes in, another 7-footer, so it's not like they lose anything from a size standpoint.
Johnny Rhodes. Followed by Evers Burns.
Tries to clear out, but there's a 7-footer in the way, and Salvadori but fouls.
Salvadori, Wenstrom, Montross, just, they get bigger and bigger.
Well, when Wenstrom came out of high school, out of Texas, people projected him to be a solid potential player for North Carolina in his career. It hasn't turned out that way. Certainly now rides the bench 3 deep as a post player.
He's the tallest, though, isn't he, Billy? Just over 7'1"? Or is Montross
I think
taller?
Montross is taller, yeah. Then they have Serge Viker sitting over there redshirting this year as a redshirt freshman that's taller than any of them. He'll be in that lineup next year.
7:39 to go in the game. 76-55 is our score. And we will be back after a word from our good friends at Budweiser.
My brother, about to become a father.
Well, how big can a crib be? Season tickets went on sale today, Mike. And, well, maybe next year. We've gone 5 years straight.
Yeah.
This is about the kid. This kid's getting for free, you know. It's gonna be a little tight. Mike, this year's on me.
Only one beer has the taste as genuine as the people who drink it. Budweiser.
Now, the new little guy's going to every game, right? Bobby, it could be a girl. A girl?
I remember last year, honey, when we were moving.
Right.
Well, she called us and said if we put both our new house and car policies with her, we would save money.
Well, we have so many choices at Nationwide, and my job is to make you aware of your options.
She was always there with an answer.
That's the way we're trained, to be very knowledgeable and to be there when people really need you the most. And that's important.
Agents like Margaret are Nationwide.
Nationwide is on your side.
Drive to work. Drink bad coffee. Sit in dull meeting. Sit in really dull meeting. Skip lunch. Handle new crisis. Postpone vacation plans. Drive home. Not a bad day.
the Charlotte Coliseum, Tim Brant and Billy Packer with you. 7:39 remaining in the game. North Carolina winning big over the Maryland Terrapins, the #1 seed over the last seed in the tournament. Scott Cherry with the ball.
Nice job beating the press by Cherry. Had Rhodes and Simpkins who have better speed on him, and he still got by.
Lynch, Montross, and Reese on the bench now as Sullivan converts from the jumper. But those three players combined for 49 points and 29 rebounds.
Solid day. Lynch really set the pace in the first half. Got his team together, both ends of the floor.
Mario Lucas with the rebound and takes it back up over the big guys and can't get it to go down.
See, there was a case where Lucas predetermined in his mind what he was going to do, Tim. You know, he realized he's being guarded by a 7-footer, and no matter what, he was going to get off that shot. That's not the way that you're going to become a good scorer on the inside. It has to be instinctive. Hey, I'm played by a good guy, make a pivot, get the ball back outside, post up in better position, and get a shot.
Evers Burns now with 4 fouls.
That's the difference between a freshman with potential and a guy like Lynch that's a senior that knows what he's doing out there.
How about this record? That is impressive in this town.
Yeah, 110 and 13. Are you giving them the 110? Going to make it the 110?
Absolutely.
All right.
At the line, an academic All-American with a 3.4 grade point average in biology. 3-time All-ACC academic.
Of course, has had a long year, you know, with the Olympics that he was involved with. He really hasn't had a break from basketball in a long time, but that experience, I'm sure he wouldn't trade for sitting out in the summer.
Dean Smith gives him a break here. The freshman Calabria comes back in.
Now back to the zone.
Simpkins fires from way outside. Calabria pulls the rebound.
That's the answer for him to work on this summer, is to develop that range in the jump shot, create the perimeter game to go with that quickness he has to penetrate inside.
Gary Williams would like to see all his players work on their shooting. Johnny Rhodes for 3 more. He has 15 points.
They stay aggressively going after North Carolina.
Well, what do you think about the Rookie of the Year, ACC Rookie of the Year?
Well, I think it'll be between Martise Moore and Johnny Rhodes. As I said, they picked an all-rookie team. Moore and Rhodes were the only 2 guys to get votes, all the votes. They were unanimous. Followed by Hip, he had 92 votes. They got 98. And then Drew Berry had 81 of Georgia Tech. And Chris Collins with 53 made up that starting 5.
Evers Burns at the line. Foul was on Salvadori, his second.
Rhodes, of course, has been Rookie of the Year, Rookie of the Week, more times than anybody.
And he leads all the freshmen in scoring and rebounding and steals and assists.
Right, 4 categories. The first guy since Ralph Sampson to be able to do that as a freshman.
Salvadori gets the rebound.
Something interesting when you talk about the tournament, though, and you look down at all tournament and MVPs in the tournament, Ralph Sampson never was a big player in the ACC tournament. I mean, when I say big, I'm talking about a dominating player. Never the MVP of the tournament, never on a championship team.
Wenstrom fouled by Evers Burns. That'll be his 5th. He will say so long, and his career will come to an end. One of the hardest workers you'll ever see, Evers Burns, 6'8", 250-pound senior from Baltimore. We talked about coming in really more highly touted as a tight end in football than he was as a basketball player, but made himself into a top-notch player. Averaged 19 points this year, and now he'll say so long.
Yep, and every year that he played at Maryland, he improved his stats and his quality of play, developed himself into, as you say, Tim, a real solid ACC performer. He'll be missed.
Had 17 points last night in the win over NC State and gets a standing ovation from the Maryland faithful.
And they have been faithful. I don't know if any group of fans in the history of this conference have had to be patient for so long due to that NCAA probationary status that they had to work their way through. And now realizing it's going to take another recruiting period to put themselves in a position to start to be a challenging team in this conference.
Burns sits down with 14 points, 11 rebounds. Dean Smith continues to jockey his roster as Salvadori goes out, Sullivan goes out. Ed Geth checks in. He is a fan favorite along with Larry Davis.
Now, Larry Davis is a guy that may show us something here the remainder of this game of explosive ability.
I saw Ed Geth come into a game down at Chapel Hill. They love him down there. And he had a quick 5 points. Here's McClinton.
Rebound by Wenstrom. You got to remember, these fellas around the floor now have spent their entire year playing against the #1 team in the nation every day. So it's not like they're not used to competition.
There's Geth. He can't get it to go. Maryland's got a 3-on-2. Nice pass right side to Hip. No foul call. Back to Hip and lays it in. Davis tried to take the charge, and Hip went right over top of him.
There it is. Good hustle by Rhodes and Hip. Showing some heart in these ball players in addition to talent.
Johnny Rhodes way outside, in and out. A little comfort for Maryland fans. Maryland today got another recruit, Keith Booth, out of Dunbar in Baltimore. That basket by Wenstrom.
That's good hands by Calabria. He had McClinton on that reverse dribble and sensed he was coming and put his hands in and made the good block.
Foul is on Ed Geth. McClinton went up on Geth, and the ball was actually stuck in their stomachs between them.
Kerwin goes out. Gary Williams gives him a real firm handshake there and has to thank that young man for as hard as he's worked to be a valuable player on his team the last 2 years.
Good no call on that last play. Here's Cherry. Out to Calabria. Davis off balance.
Davis,
they called a walk on that.
And that's Geth that made the good diving play there to create it.
Good hustle by Ed Geth.
Both teams going deep to the bench now. McClinton's still out there for Gary Williams' team. Leading free throw shooter in the ACC.
Just over 4 minutes to play. It's 84-60 North Carolina. Calabria, he's a nice player. Just a freshman out of Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. Probably more known for his football than basketball nationwide. Largest lead of the game for Carolina. To Schultz, to Bristol. He has it blocked by Cherry. And Ed Geth with a big rebound. This is almost like a scrimmage now.
Yeah, it really is.
And the foul.
But I think that Dean Smith got exactly what he wanted to out of this game. You know, he set the stage at the beginning, changed the starting lineup. We'll get to the bottom of that story when this game is over. I'm sure a lot of people will ask him about it because there won't be anything much more important to talk about than that. But got to use everybody, used a lot of different defenses, got his team to focus in a few minutes at a time, then came away with the win.
Davis misses the first one. He's only gone to the line 20 times this year. He's 12 for 20. Foul was on Curtis Schultz, his first. And now Kevin McClinton will lead the game. And so that senior also says so long. What a terrific job he's done for the University of Maryland. Stepped up, 17-point average. He has been among the ACC's top scorers all year. 87-60 is our score. 3:36 to go. We'll return after this from Schick.
Since your face can't adjust to your razor should adjust to your face, which is exactly why we designed the Schick Tracer. The Schick Tracer is the only razor with blades that bend and flex to the unique shape of your face. So the Tracer gets in close for a clean, comfortable shave. And since you can't change your face, maybe you should change your razor. Schick, we're changing the face of shaving.
I needed fresh air. You know, the kind of fresh air Nike makes and Jerry Rice obviously knows where to find. The sort of fresh air Tim Hardaway definitely knows where to find. The very fresh air Brady Anderson without a doubt knows where to find. There's one place you can find all the fresh air you need. Foot Locker. The new Nike Air shoots. Super fresh air. At Foot Locker, where it all begins.
What'll it be, Mr. Smith?
The usual?
Yep, the usual.
At Food Lion, the usual means extra low prices on quality products like McCain's Junior Juices and on everything else in the store every day.
Pepsi game summary. Evers Burns leads the game with 5 personal fouls, 14 points, 11 rebounds. The freshman, 42 of the 60 points. That's got to be encouraging for Gary Williams.
Well, it sure ought to be, and not to take anything away from the 3 seniors that were so important to the team, and there you see one of them right there. It's no fun realizing that your career is over, but they ought to realize that they did a great job holding the fort for the University of Maryland in what were very trying times during that investigation process and then the subsequent penalty.
For North Carolina, terrific game by George Lynch today. Big lead, 87-60, and there's
our MVP.
X3 hip, the freshman.
Has really gone to the basket hard. Schultz misjudged it. Calabria doesn't go. He didn't know whether to dunk or lay it in.
And Schultz was there for the rebound and couldn't believe he missed it. So Jeff got it. And Calabria goes back. All the benches cleared now. 3:04 to go. The Tar Heels lead big, 87-62.
Well, Calabria does not know whether he should cry or laugh, and so he's decided to take the laughing. His dad was an outstanding player at University of Iowa.
T-ball comes in for the University of Maryland, so that means everybody has played. Down to Ed Geth.
Nice cut.
He's fouled by Lucas.
Nice cut. Back screen. Geth gets it. There are 2 of those seniors.
Now Travis Stevenson will come in for Carolina, and Billy, that means everybody has played on both benches.
Of course, he hit the shot at the end of the Duke game just last week and was swarmed by his teammates.
I can remember a conversation I had with Gary Williams early in the year, at maybe the 2nd week of regular season play. He said Carolina has all the pieces. At the time, Duke was top ranked. But he says, watch Carolina. They'll be hard to beat, especially at their place this year. They are, he thought at that time, the best in the ACC, and I think he's right.
Well, that's why you play the games. You know, and I think that they proved, obviously, in the regular season they were. They're #1 ranked right now in the United States. They will certainly have to play 2 more outstanding games to win the championship in this conference. And then, of course, the real stretch, the 6 games to the national crown. You know, the next game that Dean Smith would win in the NCAA tournament would be his 50th win. I mean, you know, it's really almost somewhat embarrassing.
Some coaches never even get into the tournament.
I know, but when you do their games, and the legend that this man has developed over time, the only thing that compares in my career as a broadcaster is when you used to do games for UCLA. I broadcast John Wooden's last game. You'd sit there and you just reel off one stat after another of what the man has accomplished, and it almost gets to the point where you say, gee, let up, give a little balance. But what he has done is incredible. He already is the winningest coach in the history of the NCAA tournament in terms of number of wins, so every one he gets just goes farther down the line.
Carolina will move on and play the University of Virginia. That game tomorrow, the first game of the doubleheader here on the Atlantic Coast Conference Basketball Network.
There's Davis. I told you that kid can explode. Now, whether he can ever fit into the system here at North Carolina, I don't know, but he is an explosive offensive player.
For Davis, that's his first bucket of the game. 92-63 Tar Heels. Wayne Simpkins. Nice put back.
I think Calabria
Bristol.
did it. I think Calabria is the one that actually touched it.
Bristol will get credit.
Yeah. Nice pass.
That ball was out of bounds. Last touch by Walsh. So it'll be Carolina basketball.
Good call on that one, Tim. You had your eyes were all over it. Hit Walsh and went right up and hit the stanchion underneath.
Approaching the 2-minute mark. Davis with the pull-up and the jumper. Nicely done.
Yeah, you don't want to play against him in scrimmage games. I'm talking about without coaches around. They have burned him. I can tell you right now, there aren't many guys that can handle him on the Carolina team in just a scrimmage game that'll be in the off-season. But he's got to learn to play in the system. do all the other things that are necessary, because he does have offensive talent.
Larry Davis is the 6'1 freshman from Denmark, South Carolina.
Leading scorer in the state of South Carolina when he was down there in high school, then went up to Fork Union. Great his eligibility.
T-ball takes it right down the lane, misses the shot. Gets with another rebound.
It's heady plays by Kevin since he's been in there.
Davis with a jumper again. It's knocked out by Walsh.
And Guest again goes up there on the boards. Gets a rebound on one end and then hustles down to make a play on the offensive end.
1:20 left in the ball game. North Carolina, the top-ranked team in the country, about to go to 27-3. Wedstrom with the turnaround.
As I said, these fellas play against the #1 team in the country every day, so they're not going to be fazed by going up against Maryland's second team.
And Bristol is fouled by Calabria. Even, I think, as impressive as their 27-3 record now with this win is that they're 15-2 against ACC competition.
I'd agree, Tom. You know, talking in the overall picture, and we talk about all the great players that played this year in the ACC, and one guy that would still be here but isn't, and who had a great year, Billy McCaffrey. How about that story over at Vanderbilt, huh?
Great story. People thought he was crazy when he transferred.
Ended up co-MVP of the SEC with Jamal Mashburn, who many people say is the #1 player in college basketball.
How about the job by Eddie Fogler?
Hey, how about that? Eddie Fogler, Roy Williams, two of former assistants at University of North Carolina, having great seasons again. Roy has had that Kansas team in the top 10 all year long. Won the Big 8 regular season.
Under a minute to play. 50 seconds remain. 96-66 is our score. Put a couple more on the board.
Do I give up?
Put a couple more up there. 98-66. Now the crowd wants the century mark.
I'm telling you, he can be an explosive scorer, that kid.
Bristol from way outside. The shot is short. Carolina has it, and with 30 seconds left, they have the opportunity.
Nice pass, and look at this lob.
Here's Getz, 100 points.
Calabria knew what Davis could do.
Bristol fires an air ball. And it'll be Carolina ball. With 12 seconds left, the crowd loved it. They wanted the 100 points. They got it. Montross, big game. George Lynch, big game. Nice pass. And followed by Geff. That's it. So the #1 seed, North Carolina, moves on. 102-66, the final score. North Carolina over Maryland. We'll be back with more after this.
Ask anyone who's driven a Ford lately. Ask them why Taurus is the best-selling car in America. Why F-Series is the best-selling truck in America. In fact, ask them why 5 of the 10 best-selling cars and trucks in America are Fords. Ask and they'll tell you. Quality breeds success. Have you driven a Ford lately? It's more than just a question. It's an answer.
U.S. Air Reservations, how can I help you?
Hi, how are you?
2 to Washington, please. After you.
Yours, sir.
Thanks.
You're traveling light?
Did you have fun flying?
Yeah. You enjoy your flight with US Air? Now, Washington, Orlando.
Thank you for flying on US Air.
You'll hear one word again and again from the people of U.S. Air.
What's better for you?
For one very good reason.
Everything we do.
Do it. You go to gate 10.
Thanks very much.
There was no problem with the insurance, but when the car got back from the shop, I told Joe here that it just didn't look right.
See, that's where Nationwide's Blue Ribbon Claim Guarantee kicks in.
I gotta say, Nationwide really went to bat for me. It got fixed.
That's the deal. Satisfaction guaranteed in writing.
Joe's right. That's a big difference.
Oh, it's one heck of a difference.
Agents like Joe are Nationwide.
Nationwide is on your side.
Every day, BP releases a superior choice in gasoline. BP Super,
a gasoline with our highest octane. And like all our gasolines, BP Super has the highest level of engine cleaning power and an unconditional fuel system guarantee. BP's best choice in quality gasoline, BP Super.